Came looking for trouble, and trouble answered.
I thought this was just a prank, but what happens next is actually a crime. Yo,
The door kicked.
every time I watch the anime stories, it made me think that something's going to happen to the person, but then I realize most times the person be alive or come out and not dead.
Just dumb fun. Kick a random door, laugh, and run while people get mad. It was all for TikTok views. That summer, me, Jackson, and Hugh were bored out of our minds, hanging around our small town with nothing to do. That's when Hugh brought up the door kick challenge. It's freaking awesome, man. You just kick a stranger's door and run away while filming the reaction.
I want to know, when did the door kicking challenge actually stop? Like, I don't see a lot of people on TikTok doing that, like not doing it, but I don't see a lot of people doing it right now. So like, did it start like in was it like popular in like 2016, right? Or did it like start around like once it got close to 2016? I don't know.
It's hilarious. It sounded stupid, but we were teenage rebel-minded boys, so we went on with this idea. We started in the nicer neighborhoods, where most people just yelled or swore at us through their doors. One old lady shook her cane at us. Another guy came out shirtless and screaming. We were laughing so hard we could barely breathe. We decided to head toward the outskirts of town. There's this lonely stretch of road with maybe 3 houses, all pretty far apart. One of them, this small rusted metal roof place, looked ancient and isolated. I don't think anyone even lives there, I said, frowning my eyebrows. We should have stopped right there and gone home, but Jackson pointed at the door. Come on, let's get to it. The door was a heavy metal slab. Paint was peeling and the hinges were rusted. We walked closer and waited for a few seconds. Maybe we were all trying to make up our minds whether to kick it or not. But suddenly, Jackson kicked it hard. The rusty door shuddered, surviving the kick, but its sound echoed like a gunshot. For all the other houses before, the owner took time to respond. But in this case, the door flung open immediately. A man stepped out as if he had been standing behind the door even before we arrived. He was a massive guy, with long hair that touched his shoulders. He seemed to be in his late 40s, dressed in a butcher's apron splattered with dark red stains. I swear, I caught the metallic smell of blood around him the moment he stepped out. He didn't say a word, just stared at us, then took a step forward. I thought it was some kind of joke at first. I kept filming, laughing nervously for the live stream. Guys, check this out. He's really mad. All of a sudden, he started sprinting at us, his hands clenched into fists. The look in his eyes was devoid of any playfulness. We began to run. I was in front, Hugh right beside me, and Jackson trailing just a few feet behind. I could hear the man's footsteps pounding the gravel, getting closer. I thought maybe he would stop and scream at us like everyone else, but he just kept getting closer. We increased our speed and turned around for Jackson when he tripped. He was on the ground, scrambling to get up, and the man, he was already there. He grabbed Jackson by the back of his shirt and yanked him up like he was some toddler. Jackson screamed in panic. Hey, what are you doing? Guys, help me! Hugh and I froze. I was still live streaming without even realizing it. The man pulled a long, curved knife from under his apron. It gleamed.
No. So this man isn't pretending to be a butcher. He is a butcher, but he's a different kind of butcher. Just might die. See, y'all should stop, Billy. When you see a house like that, don't try to kick it, don't do anything. Don't even come by it.
The sunlight. You came looking for trouble for the camera. Your friends are still watching. Started stabbing Jackson. We couldn't do anything than just watch and cry in terror. The scream that came out of Jackson didn't sound human. The man stabbed him again and again, fast and hard, until his body went limp. Blood sprayed across the gravel. I dropped my phone for a second, gagging. My legs felt like concrete. Hugh grabbed my arm, yanking me forward and shouting, "Run, Noah! He's gonna kill us!" We bolted down the road, screaming for help. My lungs felt like they were going to burst, but I didn't stop. I could still hear wet, heavy footsteps behind us. We reached the end of town and ran straight into a gas station, slamming the door behind us. The clerk jumped up when he saw us, and Hugh just shouted, "Call the cops! There's a guy! He killed our friend! Call 911!" He couldn't even finish the sentence without choking up. When the cops arrived, we told them everything. What happened, where the house was, and seeing our friend Jackson in his last few minutes. The officers went out there with a whole team. They caught him covered in blood, sitting in his dusty living room, while Jackson's mutilated body was placed on the floor. It was later revealed that his name was Howard. He used to run a butcher shop in town before it shut down. After his wife left him, he disappeared from public view. He was in a very depressed state of mind. They were dead animals.
Basically, he was a nice man that had a decent job, wasn't wealthy, he wasn't in the poor, he was just middle class, right? And he had everything, not everything, but he was doing decent until it shut down. Then he was depressed, then he killed animals, that's why we seen the blood, and now he like this.
Remains found in his kitchen, which denoted he had been cutting up strays to channel out his disturbed mind.
So
when we kicked on his door, he was getting ready to go out and catch something more to kill. If, and only if, we didn't kick on that door, Jackson would have been alive. Hugh won't talk about it. My live stream ended the second I dropped the phone, but people who saw it before said they can't get Jackson's screams out of their heads. Me? I can still see the exact moment when Jackson realized he wasn't getting away. And that man's eyes, like he wasn't really killing a person, just preparing meat. I never went back to that part of town. Every time I see a heavy metal door, I hear it creak open again. And I remember what happens when you think you're just filming a harmless prank, only to find out the monster on the other side.
What he's saying is, harmless prank. Alright? It doesn't matter how harmless, it doesn't matter if the prank isn't gonna like harm nobody, make sure you don't do it. Cause not a lot of people are gonna take that prank so seriously. Cause sometimes a prank can turn into a worst thing ever. Remember that?
Has been waiting for you.
Story 3.
For 3 nights straight, at exactly 3:12 a.m., my front door rattled from a violent kick. Each time, I would rush over to see my neighbor's mischievous son sprinting away while laughing. The first night, I brushed it off. The second, I knew it was deliberate. By the third, I was furious.
So he's doing this normally. How will y'all feel if y'all saw that? Like saw one of y'all neighbor kid, or saw one of your friend something, keep on doing like a prank or something like that. Like, will y'all stop him? Or will y'all join him?
Fronted is right on schedule, 3:12. I saw the boy creeping up my path with the confidence of someone who thinks consequences are a myth. The second his leg cocked back for the kick, I swung the door open. He obviously didn't expect to get caught red-handed. He stumbled backward and accidentally missed the top step of my porch. He tumbled like a sack of potatoes all the way down. I heard a crack, followed by his painful scream. "I'm dying!" I stood there, stunned, not sure whether to call an ambulance or laugh.
Wait a minute, but when your phone? What do you mean your phone?
Inside, I was pleased that the little brat got instant karma, but before I could help him up, his dad stormed up my driveway. He scooped the boy up and started screaming at me. "You pushed my kid?"
For one, y'all, I would hate if the dad or the mom blame me for hurting their own kid. Like, it's not my fault that your kid fall off my porch. It's not my fault. Your kid should have never done it in the first place. And I told you your kid was doing this, but you don't want to listen. So, that's what your kid get.
"I'll get you arrested, you mean, cruel..."
I have everything recorded on the camera. I'm not afraid to show it to the cops. That's who's at fault here.
Wow.
I pointed to the doorbell camera. Before we could continue this feud, a cop car patrolling the street approached my yard. They listened to my story, watched the footage, and told Mr. Checkercart exactly what I'd been dying to hear. Sir, your son was repeatedly trespassing and harassing. That
over,
night,
y'all.
I was in bed, trying to convince myself that I could finally sleep without worrying about my door. I don't recall the exact time, but it was past midnight when I woke to a faint creak downstairs. At first, I told myself it was the house settling, but soon I heard another one, then another. The sound was getting closer, like the floorboards screeching under heavy shoes. Is someone inside my house? My stomach sank. I reached for my phone, opened the doorbell cam feed, and found it covered with something. He'd covered it. I knew he'd be back for revenge. I grabbed the big metal flashlight and crept to the top of the stairs. Mr. Checkercart was on my stairs. He was climbing it on all fours like a dog. You covered your ears, didn't you? Thought you could ignore me, but I'm inside now. Checkercart chuckled in a spine-chilling way, like he was deriving some sick pleasure from sensing my fear. His eyes were glowing in the dark, and he was drooling. I bolted back into my bedroom and locked the door, just as footsteps pounded up the stairs. I called 911, my hands shaking so hard I almost dropped the phone. He started banging on it like a rabid madman. My bedroom door rattled with every hit.
The cops are on their way. Leave right now or I'll...
I don't care who's coming to save you, because they won't be here in time. I was shaking, thinking about what he would do to me if he got in. The cheap frame was starting to splinter. The dispatcher told me to stay on the line, but I knew it'd be minutes before help arrived. And by the sound of the wood cracking, I had less than one. The flashlight wasn't enough. I scanned the room and saw my bolt cutters. I'd been doing some DIY work earlier that day and left them leaning against my desk. I grabbed them like my life depended on it. Within the next few seconds, the door gave out with... I stood there, gasping, the bolt cutters trembling in my hands. Blood was trickling from a gash on my...
One thing I gotta say, y'all, is good thing she is not going to jail for hurting him. For one, your son started this whole mess. Two, you didn't want to believe her when she told you, and she showed proof that your son started all this. So both of y'all should be going to jail.
My shoulder was throbbing, and my living room was ransacked. When the officers arrived, they found me standing over him, panting, still holding the cutters. Mr. Checkercart was driven to the hospital, ironically the same one where his son was. I said. He actually laughed. Our local newspaper printed the incident as self-defense against a home invasion. I call it karma clocked in for a double shift.
Yeah, karma clocked in for his son, and karma clocked in for your dad. The dad, you already saw the evidence on the ring camera, and instead you believe her, you still went over it, and now, after you get healed up and everything, you're going to jail for one, for trespassing, for two, for allowing your son to keep on doing this, after she already told you.
Now, my door's reinforced with a metal security gate. My cameras have backups, and I keep those bolt cutters right by my bed. I also may may not have started a rumor in the neighborhood that the kid's dad got beaten by the crazy cat lady next door. I don't own a cat, but I like the way it sounds. Sometimes, late at night, I think about the look he gave me that afternoon. The one that promised he'd come back. And then I remembered the way his head bounced off my floor. I sleep just fine now, but a few tips for those watching. If you ever have a neighbor's kid kicking your door for days, here's my advice. 1. Record everything. 2. Never underestimate how far bad parenting will go. And 3. For the love of God, keep something heavy within reach.
Wrap it up for this one. If you find this helpful, hit that subscribe circle right in the top corner so you don't miss next week's drop. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, I put together a full playlist right here. Otherwise, you do things you love this special video.
Misunderstood, so misunderstood. My temper is bad, my mission is good. I never be labeled as good. I never be labeled as mentally stable.